Hi guys, it's Trish back with another video. Today we're going to be making these super cute Valentine earrings. I just am in love with them. I am smitten. We're going to be using these beautiful candy heart buttons from Dress It Up Buttons. We're going to be using this rainbow water ice mix from JJB Beads. You're also going to need some 8O seed beads, which JJB Beads does sell. Some crimps, these are number 2 tubes, and then also some SoftFlex, okay? So let's get started here. The first thing we're gonna need is to pick out a couple buttons. So what I did here, I'll put our other ones we made up here, as I decided I want to do pink next, of course. And we're gonna pull those 2 pink buttons out. We're gonna need a couple tassels. And we're also going to need some jump rings, if I did not mention that at the beginning. These are, I believe, 12mm jump rings. Let me just grab the other one here. I have a couple extras here too. And then, I already have those opened up, ready to go. And let's see here. There is one of my pink pearls I want to use from the mix, and another. So that came from this rainbow water ice, okay? And then I have some extra jump rings here just in case I need them. So first what we're going to need to do is get our SoftFlex out. I'm going to pour a little bit of the 8O seed beads out because we're going to be using those as well. Let's actually put on our jump rings first on the bottom because that's pretty easy to do. We're just going to take one of our 12mm jump rings and put it in the furthest right bottom hole here because I want to be able to hook on my tassel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before we close it. Okay, this is the whole project is pretty darn easy, but this is the extra easy part. Okay, so there is our one heart with a tassel. I just love like the, like, I don't know what they call this. I think, is it holographic or whatever? It almost, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the glitter has different colors in it, like an AB kind of. Really cute. And then I'm going to do the furthest left bottom hole of this one. All right. Then we're just going to cut a small piece of the SoftFlex. This color is Pink Rhodochrosite, which is super cool to go with this. I'm just going to cut a small piece, maybe about 8 inches long. That's probably more than we need, but just to be on the safe side. And what I'm going to do here, you can see how I did it up at the top. I used the seed beads to form my ring and then did an accent bead at the top. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to be working on the same side as our bottom that we put the jump ring into, okay? So I'm just putting my SoftFlex through the hole in that button, and I'm going to add 7 seed beads because I figured out ahead that that's how many I need. These are 8 O's to comfortably fit around the edge of the heart. Okay, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So then we're going to switch to the back side and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add 7. Okay, there's 6. And there's 7. Okay, so at that point, once we get our 7 on each side, so that's a total of your 14 8 O's. Okay, and you can see how pretty of a loop that makes on your heart. I'm going to take one of our seed beads. I'm going to get these ends pretty even before I do it. And I'm going to take one of our 8/0s and put it over both strands and drop that down. And that's going to kind of hold that in place. We want it to kind of sit, you know, like so. It'll move around, but give us the basic gist of sitting diagonal like that, okay? So then once we put that seed bead on, we're going to put on our bead from our beautiful bead mix, and we're going to put that over both strands of the SoftFlex as well. And then we're going to add one more gold seed bead over both strands. Okay, so I'll bring this up here to show you in just a moment. Okay, so the basic steps are we put 7 seed beads on either side. And those were going on single strands. Then we put another seed bead, excuse me, over both, a pearl over both, then another seed bead. So at this point, once we get here, that easy earring is pretty much done. We're just going to grab a couple of crimps and finish it up. Now, the easiest way that I've found to do this that looks the nicest is to put your number 2 tube crimp over both of your strands of SoftFlex, and then just run a single one back down through. So there's a total of 3 strands of SoftFlex going through one crimp, and that's another reason to use the number 2 tubes, because it'll fit back through there pretty easily, okay? Get that in there, and you can see it's coming out the bottom. It's just a matter of angling it out enough to grab it. I'm just going to slide this crimp up a little bit just to kind of start it over. That's a little trick that if you move it up, it's easier sometimes to get at the 3rd strand coming through. And ours backed out when we did that, so we're going to want to try that again. And just put that down through. And you can see, there we go, perfect. Got our end. And then as we work that, I'm just going to take my plier in there, just the one prong of it, and I'm going to pull down on this. Excuse me. I'm going to pull down on this strand and just tighten this up, and then pull our crimp, pull our loop, and you can see how that's coming together there. So we have one strand sticking straight up. That was the original one of the originals. And then I'm going to, the other one sticking down here. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp that. Got my crimpers. I'm going to go ahead and crimp that. Okay. And I'm going to fold it back on itself because I like the way that looks. There we go. And now we can go ahead and cut the strands of the SoftFlex off, okay? So I'm just going to take my plier, these are my cutting pliers, and I'm just going to pull on the strand of SoftFlex and push with my pliers so I can get this cut right up to the crimp, just like so. Let's see how clean that makes it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other one. I'm going to take my cutters. Make sure you're not going to cut that loop. You don't want to do that. So let's back that away. And you can see I have the loop in the back, and I'm just pulling on that strand of SoftFlex and pushing on my pliers and snip. So that gets you as close to the top as, you know, to the top of the crimp as possible. So there is one of our earrings done. So let's do one more here. So you make sure you have the gist of everything. We'll go a little faster. So we're getting our SoftFlex. We already put our tassel and our jump ring on the bottom. And we're going to put the SoftFlex through the other buttonhole on that side. We're going to do 7 on each side. Okay. Oops, there's 5, 6, and 7. And then 7 on the other side. Three, 4, 5. 7. All right, and then we're going to take and put, make sure I don't drop that. We're going to put 1 seed bead over both, as we did in the beginning. Okay, and that's going to cinch the beads there down close to the heart to hold that. And then we're going to put on our pink pearl. Then another seed bead. And you can just see how quick and easily these earrings come together, and aren't they super, super cute for Valentine's Day? And then once I have my last seed bead on the top there, I'm gonna place my crimp on over both, run one of the strands back through. Okay. Get a good angle so I can get it to pop out there for me. There we go. That one decided to come out much easier than the other one. And then I'm just going to stick 1 tine of my plier in there and just kind of pull down, push up on my crimp, pull down on my loop, kind of getting that loop to the size that I want it. I can see it's much smaller than the other one I made, so I want to make sure they're pretty close. It just looks nicer when you have your loops matching when you're making a pair of earrings. So just a little tip. And I just, before I crimp this, I'm going to look, is everything too tight? Is everything too loose? Is it just right? So I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with what everything looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp it. Again, just want to double check those loops. I think I'm going to make that just a smidge smaller. There we go. All right, and then we're just going to crimp and fold. With this particular crimper, you do not have to fold your crimps. I just like the way that they look when they're folded. Can be a little tricky, but well worth the effort. To me, I think it looks nicer when they're bent over. They just kind of look a little more compact. They're folded over, a little more finished, and then we're just going to trim those. And all we need now are ear wires. So let me grab a couple ear wires and I'll be right back. Okay, so I attached our ear wires and our earrings are officially done. Those are some quick and easy, adorable candy heart earrings. I hope you enjoyed making these with me today, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.